Hello and welcome back. Today we are going to be looking or following on with our Java learning and looking at reading input and variables. So these are the two steps I want to cover today. So it should be fun. I'll crack on and explain throughout what I've done and where we have gone. So should be fun, and see you in a bit.
You used to stop this world from spinning. Like Superman, you were the only one to find the strength in all that I was dealing with. This life like kryptonite. And if you keep me close, every minute in this hourglass, you hold.
Alright, welcome back. So, I think I'm actually going to leave it here. So, variables will be a different exercise because as I found, these are actually quite lengthy. I was expecting them to be lengthy after looking at it on the last video, but I wasn't sure, how big they would be, and I think one step at a time would be the best course of action, just so it's still retaining the information. I'm still retaining the information, but it's not overloading. So I think it's a good balance. So what have we done? First of all, we have looked at which one was this? Message. So looked at part 5. So on message, which is over here, we were looking, well, let's go from the top. So what were we looking at? We were looking at how we can actually store strings in a variable, and how these can be used later on to actually type out the string. So then we actually done that, and we have done that by implementing a scanner which actually took in the results of the next line, or what the person who's interacting with the code input, and then printed it out. Then we went, so I think this is when we discussed what strings are, and how they work kind of, and how we can use the variables, and we don't put quotation marks around the actual variable even if they are string, and then concatenation, so we can add two strings or a string and a variable together, as you can see here, of a variable of a string together, creating one text on one line. And then we gave that a go on this example, so we could use the plus sign to add them all together. Then we went on to message 3 times. So here we took, we asked for a message, and then we scanned the line and we input output it 3 times. So we just did the message out print line 3 times. Then we had the greeting, in which we just went in, asked for a name, scanned the name, and then inputted it with our string. So our scanned string was concatenated with our own, I think there's a specific name for it, it's a literal string, I think, like a literal, yeah. on to conversation, which I found I just don't think it was really described properly or well enough, because this is sample output, right? And now that I look back at it, it does make sense if you just run it, but in my mind I was just submitting it, i.e. I assumed that my output would have to look like this, where in fact they wanted me to have this as the output, so only the black ones, whereas these would have only just been, scanned, which I wasn't, I didn't really know, and I was, trying to, get this to work, and it was telling me, I need 3 outputs, but it was just a bit madness. Anyway, so that worked out in the end with some help, and then afterwards, with my knowledge of these actually me being just inputted and not using them, I'm not actually printing them out, then we created the story, which you can see here, using the name and the excuse me, and the job, and then as you can see here, okay, so passed all of them, and all good. So now that's all done, I'll be taking a break, but tomorrow my plan is to go into variables, so it should be fun. If you enjoyed, do like, subscribe, and whatnot, and see you in the next one then. Bye.